Hello boys and girls, this is Mr. Velasco. Today we're going to do Eureka Math Lesson 8. Boys and girls, Eureka Math Lesson 8 is asking you to divide the shapes in halves. You're going to divide the shapes in halves so that they're equal. Boys and girls, remember the videos that you saw earlier? They showed you shapes where the parts were equal. You need to focus in on the shapes that have equal parts. I'm going to ask you, boys and girls, to open up your Eureka Math Book A to page 229. Let me write it up here on top. 229. For page 229, boys and girls, the question is, are the shapes divided into halves? Right, yes or no? Look at problem number 1. Problem number 1 is a square that has two parts. When you have halves, you have two parts. They have to be equal. Is 1A divided into halves? I would say no. So on the line, you can write the word no. Look at letter B, C, D, E, and F. If the shapes are divided into halves, write yes. If they are not divided into halves, write no. I will give you about a minute to write your answers. Okay, boys and girls, let's continue. Let's check our work. For letter B, I see a rectangle that has been divided into two parts. Are they halves? Are they equal? My answer would be no. For letter C, I see a circle that has been divided in two parts. Are they equal parts? My answer is yes. Letter D, I see a rectangle that has been divided into two parts. Are they two equal parts? My answer is yes. Letter E, I see a circle. Is it divided into two equal parts? My answer would be no. And letter F, I see a square. Is it divided into two equal parts? My answer would be yes. Let's go on to problem number 2. Now for problem number 2, the question is, are the shapes divided into quarters? When we talk about quarters, we're talking about 4 parts. Quarters means 4 equal parts. I will do the first one for you. The circle, is it divided into equal quarters? My answer would be yes. I want you to do the square the rectangle, the rectangle, the square, and the circle. Right, yes, if you think it's divided into equal quarters, or no if it is not divided into 4 equal parts. I will give you about a minute. Okay, boys and girls, we'll continue with the second picture of a square. Is it divided into 4 equal parts? Is it divided into quarters? Yes. Next, I see a rectangle. Is it divided into quarters? No. Next, I see a long rectangle. Is it divided into quarters? Yes. Next, I see a square. Is it divided into quarters? No. Next, I see a circle. Is it divided into quarters? My answer would be no. They are not equal quarters. Check your work, boys and girls. If you got them all correct, go ahead and give yourself a happy face. Go ahead and dust your shoulders. Piece of cake, piece of cake. When you're ready, turn the page. Now you get to color half of each shape. Remember, when we're talking about halves, we're talking about 2 parts. You can go ahead and get a crayon and choose the color that you wish. I'll do letter A. Letter A, I'm going to divide this into half. I'm going to color that half. And you can go ahead and color half. Do your best with staying in the lines. And we colored half of the circle. Go ahead and color B, C, D, E, and F. Do that on your own, boys and girls. Color half the shape. Okay, boys and girls, as you are coloring your shapes, I will color my shapes as well. I will color half of this rectangle. I need to go slow, so I may try not to get out of lines, and my lines are straight. Here is a square. I'm going to color half the square to make equal parts, to make 2 equal parts. Next, I'm going to go down to the square over here that looks like a diamond, but it's actually a square that's turned to the side. And I will color half and make equal parts. This circle, I will color half the circle. Here's a rectangle that's standing up. Let's color half. do the best you can to color 2 equal parts. Very good. And now for number 4, we're going to color 1/4 of each shape. 1/4. There are 4 parts, and we want to color one of the 4 parts. That would be called a fourth. So I color 1/4 and make sure they are equal parts. Okay, we'll color together, boys and girls. Part B, color 1/4 of the circle. And boys and girls, remember that if I am working too fast and you want to catch up, you can pause the video. Now I'm going to color this rhombus. It's also called a parallelogram. And I color 1/4. One of the 4 equal parts. Here's a rectangle that's in fourths. So I'll color 1/4, just one part. Make sure that they're all equal. And this long rectangle. I'm just going to color 1/4. One of the 4 parts. Very good, boys and girls. Check your work. If you got this correct, boys and girls, go ahead and give yourself a happy face. And boys and girls, raise a rough 1, 2, 3. Woo, 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 woo. Good job. Okay, I think we're ready, boys and girls. Let's move on over to the exit ticket. So I'm going to underline this carefully so you understand what to do. For the first one, you color 1/4. The next one, you're going to color half. The next shape, you will color half of the square. And for the last one, you'll color 1/4 of the circle. Okay, I'll give you about a minute. Three, 2, 1. Good job, boys and girls. Let's go ahead and check our work. For the first one, it says to color 1/4. That means that you will color one of the 4 parts and do your best to color it in an equal fashion so all the parts are the same. For the next shape, boys and girls, a long rectangle, you color half of the rectangle. That means 1 out of 2. And do your best to do a good job of coloring, staying inside the lines, and making these equal parts. Next, you have the square. Color half of the square. So I'm going to color half of this. Very good. And the last one, I see a circle. It asks to color 1/4 of the circle. You should have colored one of the 4 parts. Okay, boys and girls, great job today of coloring the parts of the shapes so that they're all equal, boys and girls. If you got that correct, go ahead and give yourself a happy face. Boys and girls, let's go ahead and give ourselves a firework. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good job, boys and girls. Okay, continue to practice with happy numbers. I'll talk to you tomorrow.